Hello there, I'm Koosh. Now I wouldn't necessarily call this a guide, but what I would call this is how I gear my tanks. So if you're like me, you're the type of person that hates taking augments out and swapping stuff around. So what I did for myself is I just streamlined this. So my main tank is a PT, so what I did is I was like, hey, the game is telling me Demolisher is for PT, so I took the Demolisher headpiece, the chest, the bracers, the gloves, the belt, the pants, the boots, the gun, and the shield. And when I'm on my power tech, I like shielding, so what we have here is 14 shield augments. So my main gear is the Demolisher pieces, then we have one shield earpiece, we have one shield relic, and then we have an absorption relic. And then for my legendaries, we have our super commando package, which is shield, and then we have the squad leader package, which is absorb. For tactical, I don't know why you would ever run anything that's not superheated fuel. Throw everything on here. When we have all of our pieces on, we got a lot of shield. I run about 6,300 shield with my absorb about 3,300. So the thing about power tech is when you're doing your heat blast or your payday, you get a huge absorption buff, and this build has just felt super cozy to me. But the main reason I wanted to do this guide was to just show how I gear my tanks and kind of streamline it. So how I organize my bay is I have all of my main gear up at the top here. So I know no matter what tank I'm playing, I want these. And most importantly, I also want these. So I built it this way with fluctuating a little bit of augment. So if I'm on my Jug, I know I grab X. If I'm on my Sin, I grab Y. So for example, I'm on my power tech. I know I'm grabbing all of these goodies right here. Grabbing some that, grabbing some there. We hit K, loadouts, PT build, boom. Easy peasy, it's all there. And then when I'm ready to swap, we go to nothing. And then all the gear's off, then we're back in the bay, and it's easy peasy clicking our gear off. But now say, I want to play Jug Tank. So now you're on your Jug Tank, and you're thinking, oh my god, but Jug has different gear, Koosh. I'm so confused. Not so fast. Because of how we did this, it's, okay, here's our main gear pieces. Here's our other main gear pieces. That's all going to be the same. But now, oh no. What about my implants? What about my main hand and my off hand? Easy peasy. Sin and Jug share the same one. So now I know I got all those. I got that. Now I just need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and then whatever implants you would like to rock. So for this example, I'm just going to do the 2 tank ones. So now we got all this gear that we just clicked off. Go to loadouts, Jug Tank, activate, and easy peasy. So there is one thing I did a little different with Jug. So how I built this, we have a lot of shield, right? Because of my power tech build. So what I did is I have 4 flex spots. And what I mean by that is Jug has its own implants, its own main hand, and its own offhand. So what I did is like, okay, my PT build has a ton of shield. For my Jug, what if I want a little bit more absorb? So what you can do if you want to get a little bit more absorb is you have both of your implants where you can put absorb augs in, or your main hand or your offhand. So my core pieces are always going to be there, but it's like I do have room to work with. According to the Theory Crafter page, I think I have a little too much shield, and maybe I should put a little bit more into absorb, but honestly, it's been cozy. Now, last and definitely least, we'll be checking out Sin. Now, here we are on our assassin tank, and if you're thinking, okay, Koosh, I get your power tech, and I kind of get your Jug, but your Sin, there's no way. Again, not so fast. So we're going to grab all of our core gear. Easy peasy. But Sin, a little different. The one cool thing about Sin and Jug, they both share the same offhand, so you don't need 2. So I have my core gear, and now we're going to grab our main hand, we're going to grab our offhand, our tactical, and then whatever implants you would like. For this example, I'm just going to use our tank ones. I usually do run Dynamic Force package over our Ballast Point package. My Jug and Sin share the same offhand, and like I mentioned, I maybe have wanted a little bit more absorb, so I just have this absorb piece that they can both use. And then we have our main hand, that is only for our Sin, so this one I have absorb, and then for our 2 implants, I have absorb and then shield rating. But like I said, I usually run that Dynamic Force package, and I believe that one had an absorb aug. I just know, like, in the past, I have talked to people who just have, like, a ton of different gear sets, or I just see somebody's legacy bay, and it is just a disaster of a mess, and I'm just thinking to myself, how do you keep track of everything? So what I did is, like I always do, I just start, I gear my PT, and then I work around that core build of how I can also apply this to my jug and my syn tanks. So essentially you have your core pieces here, and then you have your relics with your earpiece, and then your flex spots if you want to mess around with augments or whatever is your main hand, offhand, and then your legendary implants. Here are my stats for my syn, just to show you. Again, I think I'm probably running a little too much shield. Honestly, it's been super cozy. Probably not the biggest deal, but I just wanted to address that, where if you do follow this build or do something similar, it's probably not going to be to the Theory Crafter standards. It's just... sometimes I just sit here for hours staring at how clean it looks. One other thing, if you're thinking, what the hell are these two? These are just variables. So it's like this headpiece is absorb, this one's shield, this piece is absorb, this one's shield. So if I just ever want, I don't think I've ever used these, but I just got them just in case if I ever wanted to have like a little swap of a certain stat. And yes, I will be doing one very soon on how I gear my DPS. That one will obviously be a little bit more in depth because there's a lot more variables between the DPS specs I play. I thought the tank one would be just much more easier and simple, so what the hell? Let's just get this one out of the way first. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I am here for you.